Welcome to the lecture. Today we are going to discuss fourth unit, that is game theory. Here the name itself, game theory, is there. Game theory means when we are taking any competition or game, two or more players are play the game and they finally won any one competitor from that game. Here we are going to find that who will win the game and how they will win the game and which strategy they are going to use. Those are we are going to discuss in this game theory. Okay. Here coming to the history, the game theory came into existence in 20th century. In 1944, John von Neumann and Oscar Morgenstern published a book, Theory of Game and Economic Behavior, in which they discussed how business of all types may use this technique to determine the best strategies given a competitive business environment. Okay, here in our society we have the very huge competition we have. If suppose we take any job, for the job 1:50 or 1:n number of competitors are there. In that competitors they are going to in that competition any one of the competitor will win that competition. It means any one of the competitor will get the job. Okay, that competition winning will depends upon their strategies, their winning strategies. Those are discussed in this history in this book. Coming to the definition, here in business and economics literature, the term game refers to as a situation of conflict and competition in which two or more competitors are involved in the decision making process in anticipation of certain outcome over a period of time. For example, if we take the cricket, in the cricket two competitors, it means two teams are play the game and finally any one team will win. For that winning they are going to choose some winning strategies and they implement that strategies while the playing. Okay, here also it is a situation of conflict and competition in which two or more competitors are participants. It means at the time of decision making, it means suppose if any one player will play that game, some tutors or some coaches are there. The coaches will give some strategies to that player. Instead of that strategies, the player will choose any one strategy, or otherwise he will implement his own strategy and they succeed that game. Okay, even in cricket also, the coach is there, coach system is there, and 11 players are there. For that 11 players, the coach will give some strategies to each player individually. Okay, at the time of game, the competitor or the player will implement that strategy given by the coach, or otherwise he can take his own decision at the time of playing. Okay, sometimes the strategies will not work it out at the real time. Okay, by what will not work it out, the coach will give in some strategies. Those strategies are not worked it out. Sometimes based on the situation, the player will take the decision, their own decision, and they implement that strategy. Okay, those are we are going to discuss in this chapter, how we are going to implement that strategy. Okay, next year we used some standard terms we used in this game theory, that is player, 2-person game or n-person game, zero-sum game or 1-0-sum game, strategy, pure strategy, mixed strategy, saddle point. Okay, here in our syllabus point of view, these are the terms we have to learn. Okay, here n number of terms are there. Based on our restrictions, based on our syllabus, we are going to discuss these things. Okay, coming to the player. Here, what is the player? The competitor are referred as player. Okay, a player may be individual, or a player may be a group, or the player may be organization. If coming to the games, if we take the chess, in that chess the player is a individual. Okay, it means there is two teams are there. Each team we have one player, that is a individual playing team, Next, a group of individual. A group of individual means, if suppose we take the cricket, their number of people are involved in that game. The type of games are group of individuals. Next, coming to the organization. When the competitive world, organizations are there, like our institutions. N number of engineering institutions are there. In that n number of engineering institutions, at the time of end exams, any one organization will succeed from the society. It means we'll get the best rank. Okay, those are also coming to the organization examples. Okay, next, two-person game or n-person game. If a game involve one player or only two player or only two commentators, then it is called as a two-person game. If number of players are more than two, then the game is called as number of persons, n number of persons game. Next, zero sum game or non-zero sum game. Here the zero sum game means if in a game, if sum of the gain to one player is exactly equal to the sum of the losses to another player, so that the sum of the gains and losses equals to 0, then the game is said to be a zero sum game. Otherwise, it is said to be a non-zero sum game. Okay, if suppose any one game we take, if suppose for example cricket we take, two teams play the game, then finally any one team will win the game. That is called as zero sum game. Okay, sometimes some games are there, there is no player. There are like organizations we are going to defeat their roles, defeat the competition. In that they didn't get any winner gains, they will get only the ranks. Okay, so that is called as the non-zero sum games. Next, coming to the strategy. It is a very very important term in this game theory. Strategy, the decision rule by which a player determines his course of action, is called a strategy. Okay, I would like to repeat once again. The decision rule by which a player determines his course of action is called a strategy. Okay, if suppose we take any student, for his examination point of view, they read the syllabus or they read the content, and while he reading the content, he planned he prepared a plan to read that content. Okay, in that preparation they use some strategies. They take some inputs from the lecturers, or they prepare himself only, or they collect some information from the students, from their friends. From that every individual input he collect and he mix together, or otherwise he build his own strategy from that overall inputs. Okay, that is called as the strategy. Okay, the strategy for a player is the list of all possible action that he will take for every payoff. Okay, that might arise. It means, for example, a good example, nowadays IPL is going on. In that IPL, number of players or number of teams are played a game. In that number of players, suppose any one player will play the attractive play. Okay, by himself. He is a competitor. He is a winner in that play. Okay, it means he implemented a good strategy, and that strategy will help to win their team also. Okay. Next, pure strategy. Next, coming to the pure strategy. This is a decision rule that is always used by the player to select the particular strategy. Thus, each player knows in advance all strategies, out of which he always selects only one particular strategy, regardless of the other player's strategy. Okay, the objective of the player is to maximize their gains and minimize their losses. Just we discussed. Pure strategy means, here the strategy means the player himself, he decided one strategy and he committed to that strategy only. While he is playing the game, he implement the strategy itself. He implement the strategy only. Okay. Here the objective of this pure strategy means the objective of the player is to maximize their gains, is to maximize their winning chances, is to maximize their computations gains. It means, for example, if we take the cricket, when bowler bowls the ball, what is this? What is his concept? What is his goal? He want to take more number of wickets. Okay, for 6 balls he decided to take 6 wickets. For that he implement one strategy. He like that only he bowled that ball. Okay. So after this he maximizes the gains and he minimizes the losses. Here, what are the losses in that cricket? He reduced the hittings. Just he increase the wicketing. Okay. Next, mixed strategy. If a player decide in advance to use all or some of his available courses of action in some fixed proportion, he is said to use mixed strategy. Thus, mixed strategy is a selection among pure strategies with some fixed probabilities or proportions. Just we discussed about the classroom and student. The student collect information from the teacher and the student collect from the plans or information from their friends, and he mix it together and he collect any one strategy from that mixed strategies, or otherwise he build their own strategies. Okay, one more example. If we take the boxing, many fixtures are there. In that boxing, the competitor or opposite, the competitors, they watch their performances in previously. Okay, previous game performance they watch, and based on that performance they decided and they take one best strategy of the to gain that to win that game, and they implement they choose the opponent failures from that video or from that content, and which strategies defeat the opponent, those strategies will implement by the competitors and for winning these. Here, thus the mixed strategy is a selection among pure strategies with some fixed probabilities. Okay. Next, coming to the optimum strategy. Here, the optimum strategy means the particular strategy by which a player optimizes his gains or losses without knowing the competitor's strategies is called as optimal strategy. Okay, here before playing the game we don't know the opponent strategies. It is common, it is real, because the opponent, we don't know which strategy the opponent is going to implement into the game. We don't know that. So here we are going to implement our own strategies and for gaining or losses. Okay, that is called as the optimum strategy. Okay. Next, coming to the payoff matrix. Here the payoff matrix means in a terms of gains and losses when a player particularly strategies, selection of the strategies can be represented in the form of a matrix. Okay, here we have n number of plans, n number of strategies. Those number of strategies are tabulated in a matrix form. That is called as the payoff matrix. Okay, for choosing the best strategy, we are preparing the tabular column with these strategies. That is called as the payoff matrix. Here we have taken the two players, that is player X, player Y. Here the player X having 2 strategies and player Y having 3 strategies. Okay, those strategies, and here the values they are taken 24, 36, 8, 32, 20, 16. From this, in this payoff matrix, positive payoff is the gain to maximize the player, that is X, and losses to minimizing the player Y. If X plays that X1 strategy and Y chooses that Y1 strategy, then the X's gain is 32 and Y's loss is 32. Okay. Here X1 chooses strategies. From this we get the strategy gain and losses. Okay. When we are solving the problem, when we are taking the example, then we get the clarity of this payoff matrix. Don't worry. Next, assumptions of the game. Here we have n number of assumptions of any game. Okay. First one is there are finite number of competitors. These are the assumption. First assumption. First we have to assume how many number of competitors are there in that game. Then there is a conflict of interest between them. Okay, we have the conflict of interest between them. Next, each player has available with him finite number of possible strategies or course of actions. Okay, if suppose we take any one game, that is cricket, we take 11 number of players are there. Each individual they have they maintain their own strategies for playing the game. Okay, here each player having his own strategy. They collected or they revised the strategy from their course of action. It means from their teammates or from their coach they are taken, or from their previous matches they are chosen that strategy, or otherwise they are going to implement his own strategy. They have one idea about that strategy. Okay, one player attempts to maximize the gain and other attempts to minimize losses. Okay, in that 11 players are there, or from in that 11 players they play their own strategy for maximizing the gains as well as minimizing the losses. For example, if we take the bowler, they maximize the gains. It means they are going to take the winner. They are going to reduce the run count and they are going to increase the wicketing. It means stumpings. Okay. Next, coming to the batsman, they are going to increase the run rate as well as they are going to decrease the stumpings. Okay. Next, players know all possible available choices, but does not know which one is going to be chosen. Okay. Next, players simultaneously select their respective course of action. Next, the payoff is fixed and determined in advance. Next, players have to make individual decisions without direct communications. These are the assumptions of the game. Next, coming to the flow chart of the game theory. Okay, here first write the payoff matrix. Here, what is the payoff matrix? Which one is involved in this? Here in this payoff matrix, the strategies are involved. We are going to tabulate the strategies of the players in this. That is called as the payoff matrix. Next, apply maximum and mini-max principle. From the strategies, we are going to collect the maximum strategy and minimum strategy. If suppose for player A we choose the maximum strategy, similarly we are going to the player B, we are choosing the minimal strategy. That is maximum and minimal maximum principle. Okay, like next, second one. If is there is saddle point, it means max minimax equal to max mini means there is a saddle point. Okay, next identify the value of the game and write the optimal strategy of the player. If the saddle point does not exist, means we are going to two-way to matrix. We are going to convert it and solve by using analytical, algebraical or matrix method for mixed the strategy game. Okay, next use dominance to rule to reduce the size of matrix. Okay, if it is okay, we are going to the solution. Otherwise, coming to the payoff matrix, again we are going to reduce the size of the matrix, size of the strategies. After this, we are going to use graphical method to solve the problem. Next, formulate and solve the LPP model. This is our flowchart of the game theory. Next, coming to the method to find value of game under decision making environment or setting or as follows. Decision making environment. Here uncertainty is there, certainty is there, risk is there. Here coming to the certainty, these are comprises into two more categories. That is non-competitive situation, competitive situation. If the game is a competitive game, we are going to implement the strategies, that is pure strategy and mixed strategy. As for our syllabus point of view, we have these two, that is minimax and max principle, that is called as pure strategy. Here we have a saddle point, with saddle point and without saddle point we have. Next, mixed strategy. Here algebraic method, analytical method, matrix show method, shortcut method is there. Here we are going to solve matrix method and algebraic method. 2n or m2 order payoff matrix is there. Payoff matrix, graphical method we are going to solve. And mn order payoff matrix is there. LP method is there. In our syllabus point of view, we have minimax and max minimum principle. Then the graphical method, then LP model. These are we have in our syllabus. Next, rules for game theory. Okay, rules for game theory. First, rule 1. Look for pure strategy. That is saddle point we have to check. With the saddle point or without saddle point we have to check. Then second rule, reduce game by dominance. Dominance principle we have taken and we are going to reduce that. It means we are going to reduce the size of the matrix. Okay, if no pure strategies exist, the next step is to eliminate separate strategies, that is row or column by law of dominance. Okay, in a transportation also we are going to we are going to delete the rows and columns by taking the methods, initial basic feasible solution. Here also we are going to reduce the size of the game by taking the dominance principle. Next, solve for mixed strategy. Here the mixed strategy game can be solved by a different solution method, that is arithmetic method, algebraic method, graphical method, matrix method, shortcut method. Here in our syllabus point of view we have graphical method and matrix method. Okay. Next, here pure strategies, max principle and mini-max principle. Max mini and mini-max, these are the important terms. Here maximize the player's minimum gains, and that means select the strategies that gives the maximized gains among the row minimum value. Okay, here max minimize means here we have payoff matrix. The table column of the matrix is there. In the tabular column we are going to identify the minimum values and the row. Okay, those are in that row we are going to take the maximum value. Each row we have some maximum value. From that maximum values we are going to choose the minimum value, that is called as max mini value. Next, mini max principle is here we are going to minimize the player's maximum gains. Okay, that means coming to the column values we are going to identify the minimum value of the column. Every column we are going to identify the minimum value. From that minimum value we are going to take the maximum value. Okay, next, saddle point. If the maximum value equals to the minimax value, then the game is said to have the saddle point and the corresponding strategy are called as the upward strategy. In a transportation problem, we are going to check the balanced transportation or unbalanced transportation. It means we are going to equal the supply into demand. Okay. Likewise, here also max min equal to mini max. If it exists, the game is called as it exists the saddle point. The strategy is called as the optimal strategy. Okay. Next, value of game. Here, this is the expected payoff at the end of the game when each player uses his optimal strategy. A game is said to be a fair game if the lower and upper value of the game are equal and both equals are 0. Here from the minimax and max min principle, a game is said to be fair game. That value, that solution value is a max mini value, the game is called as the fair game. A game is said to be strictly determinable game if the lower and upper value of the game are equal to and both equal the value of the game. It means minimax and max mini is equal to 0 means the game is called as the fair game. If it is equal to the value, the game is called as the strictly determined game. Okay, here first to find out the saddle point. Here just we discussed about max mini, mini max principle. First coming to the max mini principle. Here we have to take the minimum value of the row. Which one is the minimum value here? The minimum value is B1, B2 is there. Which one is the minimum? Here 4 is the minimum. And here coming to the second row 3 and 5. 3 is the minimum. What are these 4, 6, 3, 5? These are the strategies. Strategies of the game. Okay. B1 is the 4 we are taken and B2 is the 6. A1 strategy 4. A1 is going to play with a B1 means he is going to implement the 4 strategy, and A1 if playing the game with B2 means he is going to implement 6. From this minimum value is 4. Here from this minimum value is 3. In this minimum we are going to identify the maximum. That is the maximum value is 4. That is called as max mini value. Next, similarly coming to the maximum of column. Here from this, which one is the maximum? 4 is the maximum. Here maximum is 6. Here minimax. From this we are going to find the minimax value. Here the minimax is 4. So minimax equal to max mini, that is 4. The 4 is called as the saddle point. Here the 4 is called as the saddle point. Okay. Next. here. Rules of dominance. Okay, saddle point is over. Let's come into the rules of dominance. The rule of dominance are used to reduce the size of payoff matrix. Okay, these rules helps in deleting certain rows and columns of the payoff matrix that are inferior at least one of the remaining rows and columns. Okay, here we are going to reduce the size of the matrix. If suppose initially we have the 3 by 2 matrix, again we are going to for next step we are going to convert the 3 by 2 into 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, by implementing the dominance principle. Here rows and columns are deleted, can never use it for determining the point of strategy for both players. When we are deleting the row or column, we never taken that value. We never consider that value. Okay. The rule of dominance are especially used for the evaluation of 2% zero games without a saddle point. If it reaches the saddle point, there is no need to go for dominance principle. It means here minimax equal to max min means there is no need to go for dominance. If it is not equal to minimax equal to max min means we are going to take the dominance principle. For example, if here we take player B and player A. Here which one is the minimum? Here the minimum is -5. And here which one is the minimum? Minimum is 5. Here minimum is 5. From this which maximum value is 5. And here coming to this, which one is the maximum? 5 is the maximum, 10 is the maximum, 20 is the maximum. Okay. Here 5 minus 5 is there. It doesn't exist the saddle point. So given game have no saddle point because max mini is not equal to mini max. Therefore, further we must try to reduce the size of the given payoff matrix as further as possible. Okay, now we are going to implement the dominance principle. We are going to reduce this size. Okay, here every element of column B3 is more than or equal to every corresponding element of B2 evidently. Okay, compared to B2 column, here B3 is greater or equal. Okay, when we are going to implement the dominance principle, we have to check the column and row differences. Here first we have to compare the column and rows. We have to compare if B1 and B2 and B3 likewise. Suppose coming to the B1, B2, here B1 is minimum, B2 is maximum. B1 is maximum, B2 is minimum. But coming to the B2, B3, here compared to B2, B3 is the maximum. It means greater than or equal to values we have. So the strategy B3 is inferior to B2. Hence delete the B3 strategy from the payoff matrix. So we are going to delete the maximum value, maximized value. So now I am going to delete B3 from this. Okay, after deleting the B3, we get the player B and player A. -5, 10, 5 minus 10, 5 minus 20. Okay, here again we are going to calculate the max mini and mini max principle. Okay, after calculating the max mini and mini max, again we didn't get the equal values because -5 here 5 is there, positive 5 is there. So again we are going to implement the strategy. Now I am going to check the rows. -5, 5, 10, it is not exist. 5, 5, minus 10. So A2 is greater than compared to A3. A2 is less than. So here which one is the greater? A3 is the greater value. So we are going to delete A3 row for further iterations. So A3 we are going to delete and finally we get the 2 by 2 matrix, that is A1, A2, B1, B2. Here the minimum value is -5, the minimum value is -10. Here the maximum is 5 and the maximum is 10. From this 5, here 5. Again it doesn't exist the saddle point. So the maximum value is not equal to minimax value. Hence there is no saddle point. For this type of game situation, it is possible to obtain a solution by applying the concept of mixed strategy. Okay. Here at pure strategy there is no solution. That's why I am going to implement the mixed strategy to obtain the solution. Here the mixed strategy, the game without saddle point. This mixed strategy we calculated by help of algebraic method, matrix method, graphical method. Here in our case we are going to use the graphical method. Okay. or algebraic and arithmetic method. Many methods are there. Coming to the algebraic method, here we have to write these values into the equation form. Then we are going to convert. We are going to solve that matrix here. Okay. Coming to the algebraic method, this method is used to determine the probability of using different strategies by player A and B. This method becomes quite lengthy when a number of strategies for both the players are more than 2. Okay. Here if we have the more than 2 players and it doesn't exist the saddle point, so simply we are going to the algebraic method. Here we are going to convert this matrix form into the linear programming problem. It means we are going to convert these values into the equations. Okay. Here coming to this, as it can be seen that the saddle point does not exist, we follow the following method. Here P1 probability of selecting the strategy A1, P2 is probability of selecting the strategy of A2, Q1 is probability of selecting strategy of player B, at B1 probability of selecting the strategy of B2. Okay. Here and the V with the value of the game. For this we are going to take the value is V. Next coming to the first row, here what is there? 5 P1 plus 2 P2 is equal to V, like linear programming. In that linear programming problem we have the availability and resources are there, that is availability and requirement, but here we are taking the equality. Here 5 P1 3 P2. What is the P1? It is the probability of strategy of a player A, that is A1. P2 is probability of selecting the strategy A2. 5P1 plus 2P2 is equal to V. Next 2P1 plus 4P2 is equal to V. Like that. Every column value we have to take this like this. Then after solving the above 3 equations, we get the values P1, P2, P3. Okay. P1, P2, P3 we get. Next, finally, we are going to take the column also. After solving the above equations, we get the values like this. Okay, this is the algebraic method. When we are solving the problems, we get the clarity about this algebraic method. Okay, next arithmetic method. Here also, it is not in our syllabus, so we didn't discuss about this arithmetic method. Next, graphical method. It is very important method in your game theory. Okay, the graphical method is useful for the games where the payoff matrix is of the size of 2n or m2. Okay, here the size of the payoff matrix is more than 2 or n number of players and 2 into n number of players are there, or 3 into n number of players are there. At the time we are going to implement this graphical method. Here the player A, 2 players are there. Player B, here the player A having 2 strategies. For player B case, here we have the 4 strategies. At the time we are going to implement the graphical method to solve this type of problems. Okay. Here first we have to check the saddle point is exist or not. After checking this, we are going to implement the graphical method or arithmetic method or algebraic method for solving this game. Here we have the n by 2 or 2 by n games. We are going to choose graphical method. Here B is pure strategies. These are the B strategies and A is expected pay. These are the equations we wrote from the arithmetic method, algebraic method. Okay. After that, we are going to draw the graph. Here we are going to take the values and every A payoff matrix. B pure strategies for A expected pay. Here for A expected pay, we are going to take the graph. Okay. This is the graph we obtained from this table. And when we are solving the problems, we get the clarity about this. If the game is a max mini, we are going to shade the below area. If the game is minimax, we are going to shade the above area. Okay. After this, we get the value of the game. Next, coming to the significance of game theory. Okay, significance of game theory. Here, it helps in decision making. Okay, game theory develops a framework for analyzing decision makings under the situations of interdependency of firms with existing uncertainties about the competitors' reactions to any course of actions adopted by a firm. Okay, next, provide scientific quantitative technique. That is, this theory outlines a scientific quantitative technique which can be fruitfully used by players to arrive at an optimal strategy given firm's objectives. Next, gives insight into situations of conflicting interests. That is, game theory gives insight into several less known aspects which arise in situations of conflicting interest. For example, it describes and explains the phenomena of braining and coordination formation. Next, coming to the limitations of game theory. Okay, coming to the limitations of game theory. Here, the assumptions of the player have the knowledge about their own payoff, and payoff of there is rather unrealistic. He can only make a guess of his own and his rival's strategy. If suppose he don't have any knowledge about the game, how it is difficult to choose the strategy. It is difficult to fix the strategy. That is also one limitation here. Next is a number of maximum and minimax, so that the gaming strategy becomes increasingly complex and difficult. Okay, if suppose we take the more number of strategies we choose, that is very difficult to win, or it is very difficult to gain the game. Okay, there many losses are there. Then the assumptions of max, mini and mini max, that the players are risk averse and have complete knowledge the strategies. These do not seem practically. Next, rather than each player in an oligopoly situations working under uncertainty conditions, the player will allow each other to share the secrets of business in order to work out a collision. Thus, the mixed strategies are also not very useful. Okay, when we are when we are choosing the business, there we have some difficulties to win to succeed that business, because many number of people are there. They will give the many number of strategies. In that realistic problems or realistic strategies are very fine is there, very fine. Okay, we have difficulty to choose the strategy from that mixed strategy, because number of people are there, and number of strategies they will give, and number of suggestions they will give. At the time, the game theory also very difficult for choosing the strategy. Here we have to use this strategy, that is saddle point or mixed strategy or pure strategy or optimal strategy for gaining the game. Okay, thank you.